to Touring Classmates. Tonight, 23 September. My name is John Paul Delgado Ruiz. I was born in Puerto Asís, Putumayo. I am very happy to be with you and this exposition. The partners are Sergio Andrés Ayala, Ángela Gireda Avendaño, Janet Villamil, María Alejandra Vera.
Okay.
Next presentation, the partner Ángela Gireda Avendaño.
Okay, hi guys and tutor. My name is Ángela Giranda Caicedo. I am 20 years old. I live in Florencia, Caquetá. I'm from Curillo, Caquetá. My favorite food is Chinese rice. My favorite sport is volleyball. That's all.
Hi, my name is Janet Villamil. I am living in Chiquinquirá. I study for language with emphasis in English, and it's a pleasure to participate in this meeting.
Hi, my name is María Alejandra Vera. I live in La Unión, Antioquia with my family. I am 22 years old and I am in the third semester in the UNAT.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sergio Andrés Ayala. I am from Montebello. Montebello is a little town in the southwest of Antioquia. Actually, I am living in Caldas, Antioquia, near to Medellin. I am 25 years old. I am studying bachelor degree in French language teaching. And it's a pleasure for me to stay here with you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, partners.
Nice to meet you.
Start the question. The first question is, how the United States Air Force had avoid the attacks?
Okay.
The partner and Angela.
Okay. Yes, because to the skeptics of the official account of 9/11, the idea of the 90 fundamentalists hijacking commercial airlines and outsmarting the world's most advanced air defense system seemed simple, incredible. Some 9/11 conspiracy theories argue that the U.S. Air Force should have succeeded in the intercepting at least some of the hijacked planes, and that someone therefore must have prevented them from doing so. The official version, 9/11 Commission report, holds that on the morning of 11 September 2001, a major defense training exercise was taking place. This exercise caused confusion as some persons initially thought the hijack reports were a drill. Even when the reports were confirmed, it still took 9 minutes for the pilot to be scrambled, and once airborne, they were still unsure about where they were going. The fighters scrambled from Washington head out to sea, rather than towards the hijacked airlines. David covered a report with the magazine Popular Mechanics offers an explanation. The military, he asked, responded so poorly because they were simply unpredictable. A passenger airline had not been hijacked in the USA since 1979, and all of Students there were now four at once, with many other reports of suspect flights. Also, the hijack suite of the aircraft's transport, making the planes much more difficult to trace as they diverged from their scheduled flight paths. But following the publication of the 9/11 Commission report, it emerged that the Commission were concerned they might have been deliberately misled by the military about the timeline of their response to events on the day. Suspicions of a cover-up by the military were recently addressed by a report from the Pentagon Inspector General. The report found that there had been no deliberate attempt to mislead the 9/11 Commission and that the discrepancies in their testimony to the Commission were the result of a lack of capability and thoroughness within the military. That's all.
Thank you, partner. Second
Okay.
intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. According to the documentary and the testimonies determined, the attacks were avoided by the United States Air Force. Different events occurred, including the programming on the day of aerial exercise by allocating important resources. And when the hijacking of the planes was present, they continued, when it was necessary to cancel the aerial exercise due to the current situations. Also, the testimonies show many inconsistencies in the hours, in the orders. They imply that the commanders-in-chief were previously informed and that their actions reflect that they were leading this. The technology used by the Air Force, especially radars for such vulnerable areas, were very advanced, that if a plane without a less commercial permit entered the area, there will be an answer immediately. The documentary also shows that there could be a change in the airplanes since the size of the impacts doesn't match the damage caused. The impact on the Pentagon does not indicate the same. Another aspect that the documentary showed was that the White House had missiles and had the time to act. The controls were held in communicate and there was no one to make the decisions. Finally, I don't understand how a country so developed and with all security institutions such as the Air Force is not able to provide protection in their airspace against an invasion of the airspace they protect. The technology they possess, and it is not possible that it worked that day. Conclusion according to the commentary. That's all.
Thank you, partner. This is my turn. Of course, if the Air Force could have stopped but what a very strange attitude, they do not do so, which encourage certain appearance of conspiracy video. But United Flight 3 was the only one of the flights that did not reach the target and crash and fell from the USA in the United States. And the Air Force gave adversion that these flights crashed due to the report of the passengers. Both witnesses and 2 videos saw the Air Force fire being the plane and then the United States. Air Force crash She was surprised and leads much do be desire why the report of flight. The most Americans believe it. I was shot down by national security, but the Air Force does now accept it. And the fourth intervention is the partner Maria Alejandra.
Okay, yes, the attacks can be prevented. The U.S. force is the most advanced and sophisticated in the world and was unable to intercept even the four hijacked airplanes in the course of over 1.5 hours. The airplanes fly for an hour and a half without interceptors. One argument is that the U.S. force was convinced to protect the U.S. from external threats, not from internal ones. Another argument for the incompetence theory is that by turn off the transporters, the hijackers, and had made the airplanes very difficult to be tracked on radar. There were four airplanes, AA-11, UA-156, AA-77, and the real reason for the failure to intercept the four aircraft seems to have been the high number of military exercises that were being run by NORAD on September 11 of their base in Crenel in Colorado. On the evening of September 10th, the security level for the NORAD computer system Caleb Infocon had been dropped normal. The process of authorization for slumbers was very uncomplicated. No more.
Thank you, partner Maria. The fifth intervention had the partner Sergio.
Okay, could the U.S. Air Force have prevented the attacks? I believe yes, but in this case, not really, because I would think they were not prepared for the emergency, because all occurred very fast, very, very fast. And because in some moments in the control system, they lost the information about the planes. For that reason, they did the best way possible with the kidnappers inside the cabins, having control of the situation. And the time was short. For that reason, the U.S. Air Force, for me, they did the best possible because the factor time was small, but they didn't have enough information in order to attack or contrarrest the situation. I know the U.S. Air Force are prepared for any emergency. We know that. But in this case, all occurred very, very fast. And for that reason, that day, 11 September 2001, it was impossible for them to intervene because it was very fast, first and second, because sometimes they didn't have enough information about the location of the planes. But yes, in conclusion, they did the best possible way, but it was not enough.
Thank you, partner Sergio. The second question is, were the Twin Towers deliberately demolished by explosives? The first intervention has the partner Ángela Gireta Bendaño.
Okay. Yes, because after 9/11 investigation by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMI, and the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, determined that the collapse of the Twin Towers was due to the impact of the planes and the large quantities of the exploding jet fuel released into the buildings. Those questions, this account point to the ladder post of the smoke that emerged from the towers used ahead of their collapse. Could this be explosive device planned as part of a conspiracy? They also argue that jet fuel, which has a far lower boiling temperature than the melting point of steel, is unlikely to have weakened the steel supporting framework is sufficient to prompt the collapse of the Twin Towers. Jet fuel burns at 800 degrees Celsius, where temperatures must reach 1,500 degrees Celsius for steel to melt. The explanation for the proof of the smoke offered by the authors of the popular mechanism study is that as the floors crashed down off top of one another, a pressure wave forced dust and smoke out of the windows. As for the fuel temperature, the official explanation holds that whilst steel does indeed melt at 1,500 degrees Celsius, it lost half its strength at a much lower temperature of 650 degrees Celsius. The fuel might not have melted the steel columns, but it weakened the structure and especially the struts, the support edge floor, to the point that they could no longer support the weight on the building. That's all.
Thank you, partner Ángela. The second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. According to the documentary, different reports and realities about the 9/11 event are present, which shows that the planes could not have caused the fall of the towers. The structures of the Twin Towers were designed with high resistance in the materials, obviously in case of an attack. One aspect that caught my attention was the internal structure of the towers, which in the face of an attack had now the steel and concrete very difficult to knock down by the fire of the planes, or the impact since very high temperatures were needed to melt the structure. The analysis presented in the commentary showed with measurements that the temperatures did not match the aircraft full. Something else caused those high temperatures, such as explosives placed in a controlled manner. Different testimonies also show that explosions were heard in the basement long before the impact. Explanation of the institute are not scientifically support, but simply indicate that it was because of the fire. But engineers and architects demonstrate that it was impossible to give that situation. Other explosions were also heard. Some witnesses saw molten steel as spilling liquid. What cannot be denied are the videos obtained and seen by everyone. These videos show how the expelled debris comes out. Previously, they even showed a person expelled from the building. The only possible option is an explosion. Is it visible to the naked eye that they were controlled explosions? And the many floors were seen before the impact debris arrived. However, it was a matter of being very coordinated, but very noticeable failures appeared to the naked eye. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet. This is my tour, not for me, because I personally think that they were not demolished by the explosive, but in the conspiracy theory, it says that the Twin Towers did not fall neither by the fire nor by the collision of the airplanes, but by a controlled demolition that was used termed as convenience of period. Oxide anti-explosive aluminum cut by fixing the steel columns and control the detonation is the conspiracy. Are bets that never in the United States a building had collapsed by fire and also and report in the year 2009 appeared. The Super Hermitage remains were found in the Twin Towers, sometime that the conspirators demonstrate as that the United States government record the passport of the terrorists Satando Tsukami with youth and damage. They demonstrate it is almost explodes other decorates of an airplane the passport it's intact. As when an explosion it's made the subject are the fears that come out the body. Personally, I think it was because of the high impact of the aircraft and the fire which caused the fall of the towers. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria.
Okay. According to the official account, the North and South Towers, the Twin Towers, collapsed due to the impact for the airlines plus the intense heat produced by the resulting fires. Calling this the official account, I should add does not mean that it being endorsed by any official body. On September 11, there were dozens and dozens of loud explosion reported by firefighters, policemen, journalists, and regular people, both before and during the collapse of both towers. The North Towers was struck at 8:46 a.m. and the South Tower was struck at 9:03 a.m. The Twin Towers were deliberately demolished, and the intention was to blame the collapse on the fires. The towers exploded the power was energic horizontally from the buildings with such for of the buildings for were so enormous. Those clouds that were performed three times the weight of the buildings themselves. Okay.
Thank you, partner Maria. The fifth intervention has the partner Sergio.
Okay, about the second question, I am agree with Juan Pablo because the towers were developed directly for two planes. One of the planes had explosives. I know about that, we know. One plane had, for example, a bomb. But the principal cause of the demolition of the Twin Towers was the impact of the planes in the towers. Yes, it was the threat of the kidnappers. One kidnapper told to the people, I have a bomb. Please keep calm, but I have a bomb. But the explosives was not the reason of the demolition of the towers. The principal reason of the demolition was the impact, the smash of the planes in the towers. They burn on fire a lot of minutes, 90 minutes more or less. After of the smashing, the towers burn on fire some minutes, and after the towers fell to the floor, but no for the explosives. It was for the impact, for the smash, and because in the part up, don't keep the heavy, and it was the principal reason of the demolition of the towers. No the explosives, no the bombs. It was the smash, the impact of the planes with the Twin Towers. Is my answer. I am agree with you, Juan Pablo.
Thank you, partner Sergio. The third question is, was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane? The fifth intervention has the partner Angela.
Okay. Juanpa, please give me the question again, please.
The question is, partner,
was the Pentagon really hit?
No, sorry.
Yes?
It's
Were some people
for Warner about the attacks?
Okay. Okay, for me, yeah, yes, because the 9/11 Commission report states that the 9/11 attacks were a shock, but they should not have come as a surprise. Islamic extremists had given plenty of warnings that they meant to kill Americans indiscriminately and in large numbers. The report continued, the U.S. administration, SIE, and FBI received multiple prior warnings from foreign governments and intelligence services, including French, Germany, British member of Parliament Michael Mayer cites these warnings, suggesting that some of them must have been deliberately ignored. Some of these warnings including the following. Um, March 2001, Italian intelligence warns of an Al-Qaeda plot in the United States involving a massive strike involving aircraft. Decide on their wiretap of Al-Qaeda sailing Milan. July 2001, Jordanian intelligence told U.S. officials that Al-Qaeda was planning an attack on American soil. An Egyptian intelligence warned the CIA that 20 Al-Qaeda jihadis were in the United States and that 4 of them were receiving flight training. August 2001, the Israel Mossad gives the CIA a list of 90 terrorists living in the U.S. and say that they appear to be planning to carry out an attack in the near future. September 2001, Egyptian intelligence warned American officials that Al-Qaeda is in the advanced stage of executing a significant operation against an American target, probably within the U.S. That's all.
Thank you, partner Angela. The second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. According to the commentary, I think that because of the different inconsistencies present and demonstrate, it seemed that different people or institutions had prior knowledge of the terrible events. So this is all based on the confusing testimonies and statements of the commanders of the Air Force and different position or high level or rank. The analysis show events previously to 9/11, for example, on security issues for the withdrawal of anti-bomb dogs 1 week before the tragedy, the exercise of the Air Force to allocate resources to another activity precisely that day. I also see with concern that the kidnappers were not captured by any airport camera, the United States being a country with high control and security. Another aspect is that the tenant of the building 7 precisely the way organizes an appointment of the dermatologist, a fact that saved his life. From this documentary, different inconsistencies are analyzed that at the same time generate more questions without anyone answering them. Research on different official publications do not respond concretely and scientifically to events and different analyses. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet. This is my turn. I believe it. No. No one of the attacks was absolutely warned unless some family of the terrorists knew this was a very well prepared secret attack. The terrorists received aviation class and their instructors say they were the worst in the class, nor did they suspect that these people were going to attack the security of the United States. It was never noticed why the American government was taken with surprise and the attack was a success. So the silence of the terrorists was essential to carry out these attacks, partner. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria.
Okay, After September 11, Republican Congress denounced the pre-knowledge of information of the upcoming attacks with intentionality with help from the intelligence community. In August 2001, FBI agent discovered information that could have led to uncover the September 11 plot. Vladimir Putin has said publicly that they ordered his intelligence agency to alert the United States the last summer in 2001 that suicide pilots were training for attacks on U.S. targets. There was the infamous August 6th memo. The President Bush was told in August that Osama bin Laden make be planning an attack involving the hijacking of U.S. aircraft. That's all.
Thank you, partner. The final intervention has the partner, Sergio.
Okay, about this third question, I believe yes, they did. Because according to the documentary, an important air hostess, she's Chinese, Betty Ong. Betty Ong achieved to communicate about the attack. Yes, and some passengers achieved to call to their parents and informed the kidnapping. Some of them told goodbye to their parents and their relatives. An important event inside the plane was the call of the air hostess Betty Ong to an operator from American Airlines informing about the possible attack. It's an important information. She informed about the kidnapping. It was the beginning of all the intervention. She called to the control, to the operator from American Airlines, and she informed about the kidnapping. And yes, she achieved to communicate the emergency. And we know what occurred, but yes, they achieved. Some people forewarned about the attacks. And the first information about that was this air hostess that called to the operator for American Airlines. His name is Betty Ong. She achieved to inform about the emergency.
Thank you, partner Sergio. This is the fourth question. Was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane? The first intervention has the partner Angela.
Okay. For me, yes, because at 9:37 on 11 September, the Pentagon headquarters of the American military was rocked by a huge explosion. According to the official account, American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the building, killing all passengers on board and 125 military personnel and civilians off the ground. But some people argue that AA-77 could not have hit the building, as there is little visible wreckage, and the hole in the wall caused by the impact is too small to have been inflated by a Boeing on 157 airlines. The first photograph taken before the front wall of the Pentagon collapsed show the hole appears to be some 18-20 feet across at its narrowest point. Conspiracy theories argue that a remote control drone or missile struck this Pentagon. The official explanation is that the fusel, with its 12 feet wide, punctured the building, but the two ends and the wings large broke up on impact. The black box records and engine parts were found among the wreck, and many eyewitnesses described seeing the plane hit the building. Engineers and computer scientists at the Rosen Center for Advanced Computing at Pratt University, Indiana, have built a computer model to recreate the crash. Their research suggests that it was the exploding head fuel which caused the roads damage inside the Pentagon. That's all.
Thank you, partner Angela. The second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. According to the documentary, several facts are present that are in doubt about what really happened in the Pentagon. An inconsistency in the security cameras, so what that they supposedly did not show, and the only ones allowed to show something that was approaching very blurred to the Pentagon in the area where the impact was. Also, the damage caused and showed in the video, the doubts of what crashed in the Pentagon, the winds, the tide, the size of the point, don't know match the whole. Also, the analysis of the remains don't know match the size of the supposed aircraft. The size of the engines could not disappear from nowhere. The documentary also informed us that it's very rare that the plane could have crashed in another place where the damage was more serious. It crashed in an area of the Pentagon that resulted in mass remodeling and also in an area that was being reinforced. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet. It's my turn. I believe the companion version are fun. I believe the official one. The 77 American Airlines flight was the deer flight as part of the September attacks of the 2001 and was deliberately crashed in the Pentagon headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. The plane, which covered the Washington Dulles International Airport line near Washington, D.C., and the Los Angeles International Airport in the city of the same name. What jihad with 5 jihadi Saudis when I had been flying for 35 minutes. The Saudis entered the cabin of the plane and for the passengers to go of the rear of it. Hangward, one of the kidnappers, assumed control of the flight as a pilot. Hidden from their kidnappers, only one passenger managed of the making a call to their relatives. Then what happened? For my, I believe the official one, yes, companions. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria.
Okay. The airplane that appeared over the Pentagon was American 7 77, the same plane that had disappeared from radar screen over West Virginia almost 1 hour before, but they never provided any evidence of that. All the debunkers have to show for Flight 77 is a small piece of breakout carrier an American Airlines serial number, but this piece could have been placed by anyone on the grass after the impact. In fact, unidentified men in suits were seen meeting with the debris right after the impact in direct violation of the rules of crime scene. The American Airlines jet fly into that building, but no presumably that if anyone wanted a different airplane to look like an American Airlines aircraft, they would have a late trough of painting the fuselage with the same colors. Some of the damage in the building isn't compatible with the plane and the way it had in the Pentagon. It's all.
Thank you, partner Maria. The fine intervention has the partner Sergio.
Okay, about the Pentagon, yes, the Pentagon was other of the objectives of the attempt. The flight number 77 impacted on the Pentagon, but it was not completely destroyed. In that attempt, 184 people lost their life in the Pentagon. But according to the documentary, years after, spoiled places was completely rebuilt in the Pentagon. But yes, initially the people thought that that flight was the direction to the White House, but the Pentagon was another of the objectives of the attempt. And yes, but in comparison with the Twin Towers was destroyed completely, but in Pentagon, only some places. But the answer is yes. The plane number 77 impacted in the Pentagon. Is my question. Is my answer, excuse me.
Thank you, partner Sergio, for the intervention. The fifth question is, could the attack have been prevented? The fifth intervention has the partner Angela.
Okay. Yes, because the CIA knew that two Al-Qaeda terrorists had entered the United States as early as January 2000, but the CIA never passed on this information to the FBI. So the FBI did not know to look for them. Had the CIA typed of the FBI that two known Al-Qaeda operatives had traveled to America, it would have been easy to track them down, and possibly the 9/11 attacks could have been thwarted. But there was the Watson who led the FBI's investigation of 9/11. Told the conspiracy theorists that there was no deliberate America. It would have been easy to track them down, and possibly the 9/11 attacks could have been thwarted. But Del Watson, who led the FBI's investigation of 9/11, told the conspiracy files that there was no deliberate CIA plot to keep information from the FBI. After the attacks, government officials were summoned to give evidence before a congressional inquiry set up to investigate the intelligence failure before 9/11. It seemed that the CIA information about al-Hazmi and al-Mayhar was lost in the system. Within 9/11, there are too many secrets, he said, and that withholding of those secrets has eroded public confidence in their government as it related to their own security. That's all.
Thank you, partner Angela, for the intervention. The second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. Yes, any type of attack is possible to prevent under the normal functioning schemes of a government that seeks security and works daily for it. At airports, the controls are exhaustive. The different institutions or forces that are dedicated to protection of the country. If they are in normal operation, they can be very easy to determine, treat, control, and take the required intervention in defense or high rights, especially if they are kidnappings, attacks, or attend attacks that affect citizens. According to the documentary, there were many inconsistencies, failures in security measures, very strange. They failed that day. What was confusing in the Air Force, so if things had worked normally, the attacks would have prevented it. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet Villamil, for the intervention. And the intervention is my turn. Yes, I do believe that they could have prevented the attacks 11 of September because the attacks could have been avoid all the agency avoid if the USA National Security Agency had not ignored the survey agent system devised by one of the former analysts, William Binet. It is the text of the documentary At Good American, with Friedrich Moser. Together with a small team, had developed treat a perfect surveillance program which uses metadata and what's perfect to not invade anyone's privacy, but a combination of greed, arrogance, and lack of professionalism. According to Binet, ended hints. I believe it. What attacks the 11th September, the prevent. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria Alejandra.
Yes, the important information for Richard Clark, who would have organized the defense and even have prevented the attacks altogether. Of September 11, only 4 planes were armed and ready to intercept terrorists in the eastern region of the country. George Bush returned to Washington on the evening of September 11, and a score of helicopters was waiting for him. 3,000 flights were defending the skies and had 3,000 flights ready to defend the skies in the morning of September 11, with the terrorist attacks have returned out the same way. It's all.
Thank you, partner Maria Alejandra. The field intervention has the partner Sergio.
Okay, about the attacks have been prevented. Maybe yes, maybe not. 1 month before was captured one terrorist. He had the mission to impact in the White House, but for that reason, no plane arrived until White House. I believe in this opportunity, I believe it could be a threat, an announcement about the terrorist action, but this case could be suspect, but it was not like that. I believe it's difficult for me. This is the most difficult question for me in this case, because about the prevention, I believe any attack could be prevented, but in this case, all was organized in a secret way. For that reason, maybe yes, for the capture of this terrorist man, but maybe not, because because all occurred of fast way and they didn't have enough time to prevent it. For that reason, this question is open. Maybe yes, maybe not for me, because it was the most difficult question. In order to give a correct answer, we have reasons to answer yes, and we have reasons to answer not. For that reason, I believe it could to have avoided the attack, but in this case, they didn't. For that reason, the attack occurred. Is my answer.
Thank you, partner Sergio, for the answer. The sixth question is, what Osama bin Laden really captured and killed? The fifth intervention has the partner Angela Gisette, sorry.
Okay. Yes. On May 2, 2011, bin Laden was shot and killed by United States Navy SEALs inside a private residential compound in Abu Dhabi, where he lived with a local family from Waziristan during a covert operation conducted by members of the United States Naval Special Warfare Development Group and Center Intelligence Agency SADSOG operators on the orders of U.S. President Barack Obama. Under his leadership, the Al-Qaeda organization was responsible for, in addition to the September 11 attacks in the United States, many other mass casualty attacks worldwide. That's all.
Thank you, partner Angela. The second question, the second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. In reference to the death of Osama bin Laden, different conspiracy theories are also present. Also in the documentary, there are testimonies, doubts, queries, but an absolute truth cannot be indicated. Freedom of expression and investigation allows investigation in order to seek the truth, especially if they are transcendental issues in the development of a country, its security, and that of its citizens. The death of Osama bin Laden on May 2, 2011, just like the documentary presents different inconsistencies or lack of evidence or information that the institution does not publish or that is not available to the public. In this event, no evidence was present as the ADN photographs. There were conflicting stories. A blackout was present. All these events continue to generate doubts and more doubts. This is why these documentaries and conspiracy theories arise. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet Villamil. The theory intervention belongs to me. No, Osama was only killing. They did not capture him, but the official version was when he died at the place in nearby building resistance was shown. Of the Vin Jones children was also killed. Also, one of the wits and also the messengers when they entered the house of Osama bin Laden. This elucidates the first shows. In one of the second floor as soldiers, apart his daughter was shown in the sheets and another Navy SEAL soldier shown in the heat personally. I don't know then that Osama bin Laden captured. He had shot down in a war operation without saying a word. Another theory was neutralized. He affirms that within the operational protocol, the intent to capture him, but he was killed because of the risk he represents the United States. For me, Osama only killer. And the four, after confirmed his identity, Howard transferred to the American aircraft carrier Carl Vinson. With after a funeral with Islamic rites, was buried at sea according to the report. Although in the morning, American tea was thrown into the sea. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria.
Okay, the FBI confirmed that primary responsibility for the attacks belonged to Osama bin Laden. United States did not really seek to kill or capture Osama bin Laden either before or after the attacks, with the result that several people, independent suggest that the U.S. government must be working with bin Laden or vice versa. That's all.
Thank you, partner. Thank you, partner Maria. The five intervention has the partner Sergio.
Okay, like you told, years after of the attack, a lot of possible ideas about Osama bin Laden in the news, speculations about the possible death and speculation about his death without proofs. But like you told again, I'm agree when Osama bin Laden announced to the world that in 2011, 1st May of 2011, in a secret operation in Pakistan, he died. And as a curious date, his wife, he had a lot of wives, but the actual wife tried to protect him because she was armed, but it was not enough. In that day, he died. He died officially in the world. He died, but no, he didn't be captured and killed immediately. No, if we analyze 10 years after, he was hidden of all the world. Yes, no more. It's a simple answer.
Thank you, partner Sergio, for the intervention. The seventh question is, was 9/11 caused by the American government on purpose? The fifth intervention had the partner Angela.
Okay, no, for me, no. Although the United States may have used this terrorist attack as a pretense for empire building, that doesn't mean they caused it or allowed it to happen with prior knowledge. It's possible and even plausible that once the attack occurred, they simply saw an opportunity and took it. It's also reasonable that different actors in the federal government had some complex motivation, including retribution for the attacks as well as expansions. Expansionist. That's all.
Thank you, partner. Thank you, partner Angela. The second intervention has the partner Janet Villamil.
Okay. According to the document, it is shown and state that the events of 9/11 had many questions per response, many information gaps and inconsistencies in the damage in the alleged commercial aircraft that had been replaced and in the way in which the towers and Building 7, since they were buildings of excellent construction and engineering, of the type of structure that skyscrapers of this dimension need. Thus, the truth cannot be deduced, nor does the information provided by government entities provide a response, which is why the determining document that there are hidden things and therefore there is the possibility that something else will cause such damage, such as controlled explosions, but you cannot determine who is responsible or who are responsible for those damage, whether it is a government, a person, or a group of people. It concludes that there are no words to determine who or what has the capacity to destroy so many lives, so many families, causing disease, because the damage that most impact me in that documentary are people, human beings, if they are considerate of any economic interest of insurance for buildings. There is not excuse for sacrifice a single human life. The damage of such as 9/11 are not only those of that moment or those hours, they affect the future of all who participate in solidarity as firefighters, volunteers who drastically deteriorate their health, respiratory disease, the digestive system, in something that cannot be measured, the loss of family members, and finally, without a clear response. That's all.
Thank you, partner Janet. It's my turn. For my, I was known rolled attack with the jihadists of Al Qaeda against the United States that led an indelible mark of more than 1,000 people you saying it. For me, it was not a conspiracy in a very interesting document, but I am patriot. No, I think that the government who its own inhabitants that does not fit in my head or unknown else in this world. It was an attack with religion, hate, and with war, which was done to perfection. And no more companions. The fourth intervention has the partner Maria.
Okay. Knowing that the attacks were imminent, knowing that they might involve Egypt Airlines, but not knowing where and when they could happen. Would have been a good reason to beef up the defense and keep even more jets than usual on alert all across the country. Why instead schedule so many exercises in one day while leaving only 4 jets on alert to defend the very sector of the country that was most likely to the attack? Was a series of last minutes replacing an unexplained advance between the chain of command. That's all.
Thank you, partner Maria. The fifth intervention has the partner Sergio.
Okay. About the seventh question, no way. It could say that the nation was helpless, and I believe the American people are very patriotic for that reason. I don't believe the American government did that on purpose. For me, impossible. And according with the documentary, I can analyze that. No way. The nation was helpless. It's a surprise. It was a surprise for them. They were not prepared. They was without help, without enough help. And in the plane was patriotic American citizen that would prevent the smash in the White House. And they would like the best for the nation. They are actually very patriotic for that reason. I don't believe it's not their fault. No, the situation was without control for them. They did the best possible, but they are not the fault about this attack. The American government is innocent about that.
Thank you for the intervention, partner Sergio. To thank the director of the course, Maria Rosario Guillens, the two termineros, the monsieur, the classmate for their time and good bless. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
you. Bye. See you soon.
Bye.